Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to The Island Viper. We're going to be delving into some Valaverse Action Force and G.I. Joe in this video. So, I have the Desert Commando Snake Eyes here and a Valaverse Action Force Desert Gear Pack. Took me a while to get a hold of these. Ended up buying them from China. Got a few of them. I had seen where someone had combined these two sets here, the Desert Snake Eyes, because his accessories kind of suck. It's just the same accessories all over again. And the Valaverse Desert Gear Pack, the male version. There is a female version available and a female version of the Desert figure available as well. But we are going to check out this gear set and see how well it fits with the Desert Commando Snake Eyes and kind of make this a little bit of a video review of both items. Taking a look at the packaging here, you have Snake Eyes front and center in his Desert Commando uniform, and then in the background, as we recall, they were adding little Easter eggs into the packaging art for these figures. This appears to be the Storm Shadow that we should have gotten with the classified series to begin with. The full sleeve tattoo and slightly different face mask, etc. This is the figure that was given to us in 4-inch scale by Haya Toys, if you're lucky enough to have gotten one of those. Very cool figure. They were making an animated series, I think, at one point, but that got scrapped because of all the backlash due to redesigns, and a lot of people just wanted 25th anniversary or ARAH from the 80s made over in 6-inch. So that's what they kind of started doing. And the updates and new figures and new characters have kind of taken a back seat to that, at least for now. But anyway, here you have him. We'll get him opened up. Nice artwork here on the side. And on the back, of course, it details the accessories the figure comes with. And over here you have the barcode. You have the insignias for his specialties and whatnot. But let's tear him out of the package. Overall, a good-looking figure. I actually like the Desert Commando color scheme. I like the multi-tan color. It reminds me of the FN Scar series of rifles and their multi-tan color scheme as well. Desert Commando Snake Eyes. We did get a 3 3/4-inch version of that figure, and it was based off of the version 4 Snake Eyes. That figure is one that some people don't really care a whole lot for. It's from my era of G.I. Joe, so I'm obviously going to like that figure more than some of the guys that are a little bit older than me. But taking a look at his gear set here, this is just a regular mold, the version 1 mold, the 00 mold for Snake Eyes. You have all of his bent up, super soft accessories. The Uzi actually looks really good. There's nothing wrong with it. A couple different colors on there. You have the bandolier with grenades. And hey, at least the scabbard is bent up here with his for his sword. And then you have the backpack that you can attach some accessories to. Now, they included an extra sword that does not have a home with the figure, but does have the metallic silver paint app on the blade. You have the knife here that'll go in the sheath, and you have his Beretta. His appears to be an M9A3 Beretta with a suppressor. So the figure, all of his accessories, he's not going to be hanging on to all of this stuff. We're going to gear him up a little bit better. So let's take a look at the Valaverse Action Force Desert Gear Pack next. Packaging first on this one, you don't really have a whole lot to it. You have the artwork on the front and on the side of the Desert Republican Guard, I think, or Republic Guard.
And then on the back, you have a layout of all the pieces that should come with this. 3 magazines, an M4, and all the extra stuff. I believe this takes you to the Valaverse website. And on the opposite spine, you have the Action Force logo. Now we will break this apart and see what all's inside. Get a little crack sack of blast effects here. Then in this bag, we have... What delicious treasures are these? So we have the vest with the knife already in the sheath here, and that's a lot more solid plastic. The 2 magazines are already in their holders, and I believe that the antenna in the blast effects pack goes onto this radio back here in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, there's a spot right here for it to plug into. So there's that piece, and then of course you have the pistol magazines molded in. This is the gun belt that we'll be using, and you also have an EDC bag. I actually have one of these EDC bags, or a very similar one. I have a Maxpedition EDC bag that I use quite a bit for different things. It comes in pretty handy. Anyway, a lot of the Action Force stuff is real life weapons and gear. But here we have a good looking M4 with a Trigicon, and the magazine's already in the well. We have a drop leg, appears to be like an IFAK that'll go onto the figure's thigh. Your battle helmet. I am having issues. Anyway, there's the battle helmet. Looks to be a little bit deformed, actually. Attachments for the battle helmet, those are ear muffs, comms units. And you have a pistol with a red dot here as well. We'll probably end up using that. A scarf for the figure, and a set of nods. Something here appears to be broken. Yeah, this is a piece that should have been on one of these earpieces, I believe. What is this that has broken off? I don't really see where it came off of that one. It looks like an antenna. I'm sure we'll find it when we try to put everything together. But there you have it. That's the Desert Gear Pack. Let's get Snake Eyes broken down and taken apart so that we can put all this stuff on him. Now that I have Snake Eyes kind of broken down, I've got the legs off, the head is off, and I haven't been using hot water. I've actually been using a heat gun to just shoot a little heat on the parts for a short period of time, and everything pops right apart. But this is the best way to install this gear onto a G.I. Joe figure, or even an Action Force figure, I believe. So we'll use the gun belt, of course. We'll use the plate carrier, and what else did we have here? We have the drop leg IFAK, and looks like that's probably about it, other than the scarf, which we'll use the scarf. The other stuff can go on after the figure has been reassembled. So let's go ahead and warm up these parts here real quick. Mainly because I don't want to overstretch the plastic and risk tearing it when I'm trying to assemble it. So the heat just makes it a little bit softer. That actually fits a little bit loose on the thigh here. A little bit looser than what I would like for it to. So I would assume that the thigh of the figure this is actually made for is probably a little bit thicker. And there's also the possibility that I might not be installing that correctly, but I believe I am. So believing is a big part of it. And if nothing else, I mean, you could put, you know, a little drop of glue or adhesive or something right there on the side of that strap on the inside of it so that it sticks to the inside of the leg and stays up. Don't think I'm really going to have to do anything like that, but before I pop that leg back on, better put the gun belt on. And this also fits a little bit loose. So the figure is a little bit slimmer than the Action Force figure would be, I believe. So there we have that. Get the other leg on here. Get it snapped in. Yeah, I think that'll still work out fine. And next, we'll go the vest. The vest actually fits really well. Snake Eyes has a harness over this torso. This harness would actually come off if you were to pop off the arms and slide it up over the neck. But we're not going to do that. There's no need to. And the collar on that little harness piece actually fits really well right there. So as you can see, the backpack hole does not line up with the backpack hole on the figure very well, at least. You got to move that up quite a bit higher than where it would naturally set. So, but good thing is the backpack should be held in place if you hook it into the plate carrier. Now these are a little bit tricky at times, or at least they have been in my experience with putting them on Action Force figures. That went together a whole lot better putting it on the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes figure than what it normally does on an Action Force figure. It fits quite a bit tighter than what it does on this figure. I don't hate the look, but again, he's a little bit skinny for this setup, but I think it'll work out. Gonna put the scarf on. Yeah, that'll look pretty good. And get the head popped back on here. I'm gonna have to heat the head up. It was actually really tight, so we'll just shoot a little bit of heat on it. That should be enough. Yeah, it's pretty warm. And yeah, it's gonna pop right on. And there we go. Get that scarf positioned. Snake Eyes is gonna have a whole new look, wearing a helmet and all of this gear that you don't typically see on him. Now this is gonna look pretty good, I think. Well, it might. Doesn't seat down onto the head real well. It's almost like it's a little bit too thick. So we're gonna shoot a little heat to her, like so. Oh, it doesn't fit? We'll make it fit. We'll make it fit. There we go. Much better. Again, it's not perfect, but doesn't have to be. It looks good. And the thing with these goggles here, these nods, the night vision goggles, they'll actually sit right down over roughly where his eyes would be. I would really like to get that helmet down a little bit farther. That doesn't look terrible, but it's not the best it could look. So what I'll probably do is just let that live like this in the up position. One thing that I failed to mention here about the helmet and what you see here on the side, these ear covers, these actually come off, and these pieces, the comms unit, would basically plug in either the port back here or up here if you wanted to put it in a weird position, but it should plug in right here. I think these would have looked a lot better had they included the 2 points of attachment instead of just the single point of attachment. I've actually put these onto a couple of other helmets and didn't really care for how they looked. Here is the helmet with the earpieces, the comms unit attached instead of the panel covers. Since Snake Eyes is non-verbal, I don't think that he really needs to have a microphone and comms unit on his helmet. This gives quite a different look to the figure. The Desert Gear set actually has a little more green to it than tan. The plate carrier is the main tan part, but I ended up putting the drop leg holster back onto the figure with the suppressor. I may end up pulling that IFAK drop leg off there. It just looks kind of baggy and loose. I don't really care for how it looks, but the vest and helmet turned out really nice. I ended up heating up the helmet enough to get it to kind of stretch over his head. It's not stretched very much, but it did need a little bit of heat to go ahead and fully seat on there. The scabbard for the sword is actually plugged into his back, so the vest is up a little bit in the back, just because the hole doesn't line up perfectly. I did attach the antenna to the radio and went ahead and put one of the swords in his hand, so he has both of them, and gave him the M4, which looks a lot better, in my opinion, with these figures than if you're going for a more realistic look. A lot better than the real soft, gummy firearms that most of the G.I. Joes come with now. It does look a little wonky with having 2 pistols on him. One of them is not suppressed, though, and the other one is capable of accepting the suppressor. So maybe if you choose to go this route, don't put the gun belt on him, and maybe just the drop leg sheath for his knife, which is probably what I'm going to switch that IFAK out to, just because the drop leg sheath fits a lot better than what it does. It's not loose. Plus, 2 knives, 2 guns, whatever, or 2 pistols, whatever. He's very heavily armed, regardless, for his desert mission, with his night vision goggles actually going down to where his eyes would be. And I think the Valaverse Action Force Desert Gear set actually goes with the Snake Eyes figure very, very well. At least most of the parts do. But you don't have to use all of the parts to gear out a figure. A lot of people that I've seen with these accessory kits just use whatever they want to out of them, and using all of it's not necessary to get use out of it. All right, here he is all cased up, and he's going to go on the wall with the other open classifieds and Action Force figures that I have. I think he looks pretty good with that gear set. I think the color offsets really well. It's a nice contrast, and it's a compliment to the multi-tan that he already had. Anyway, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you get notified whenever I post new videos. And comment, let me know what you think. The ultimate heresy, I guess, combining G.I. Joe and Valaverse Action Force. All of that stuff. Let me know what you think of the Snake Eyes with the Valaverse Action Force gear set. And I'll have more videos coming to you soon. I am going to dive more into some other Action Force stuff that I have acquired. And new G.I. Joe stuff, new video formats. The only reason why this one was not just all toy is because I wanted to talk about this stuff a little bit and actually kind of break it down and assemble the figure and whatnot. So anyway, the new video format did not get very many views, so that may or may not be something that I stick with. going forward. I'm going to give it a shot, see how it goes. All right, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Later.